The late summer air hung heavy on August 15th, 2023, as I packed my suitcase in our apartment, the faint hum of the city drifting through the open window, carrying the scent of distant rain. Elaine and I had been together 4 years, a beautiful partnership built on late-night talks, shared meals, and the quiet comfort of our cozy flat with its creaky floors and view of the street below. She stood in the doorway, her brown hair catching the light, her blue eyes warm as she hugged me goodbye from my 2-week business trip to Berlin. "Be safe," she whispered, her lips brushing my cheek, and I felt a surge of trust. Her smile of promise I clung to as I headed out, the door clicking shut behind me. The trip was routine meetings, coding sessions, the gray sprawl of Berlin a stark contrast to our home. I worked late, video called Elena when I could, her voice a lifeline through the static, her stories of work and friends keeping me connected. By August 27th, a day before my scheduled return, the project wrapped early, and I decided to surprise her, booking a flight home. The train ride back was long. The carriages hum a steady beat, the landscape blurring past, fields, towns, the anticipation building as I neared our city. I texted her from the station, casual, "Miss you, landing soon," and hailed a cab, the driver's chatter a faint buzz as we approached our street. As the cab turned the corner, my heart sank. A strange car, a sleek black sedan, sat parked outside our building, its engine off but lights dim. The street was quiet, the late afternoon light casting long shadows, and I paid the driver, stepping out to watch from across the road. Through the window, I saw movement. Silhouettes, 2 figures, one unmistakably Elena's, the other a man's, their closeness a knife to my gut. I ducked behind a tree, my breath shallow, the bark rough against my palm, and felt the world tilt. For years, her laughter, our plans shattered by this. I pulled out my phone, snapped a photo of the car, the plate clear, and dialed her, my hand trembling. She answered on the second ring. Her voice rushed, breathless. "Hey, what's wrong?" I steadied myself, forcing calm. Kommandirka ended early. I'll be home in an hour. Her tone shifted. Forced cheer. "Oh, great. Can't wait." And I heard a rustle, a door, then silence. Minutes later, the man bolted from the house, jumped into the sedan, and sped off, the tires screeching against the pavement. I waited 15 minutes, the air cool against my skin, my mind racing with hurt and resolve. I entered quietly, the flat's familiar scent of lavender and with now a mockery, and found Elena in the living room, her hair disheveled, her smile too bright. She rushed to me, arms open, trying to kiss me, but I stepped back, my voice flat. "I need a shower first." Her eyes flickered, but she nodded, and I headed to the bathroom. The doors click a barrier. There, on the floor, lay men's underwear, not mine, black and unfamiliar. Evidence I couldn't ignore. My stomach churned, but I wrapped them in a towel, hid them under my arm, and slipped out the kitchen, tossing them into the trash bin outside. I returned, the shower steam a cover for my thoughts, deciding to end this quietly, without screams or tears. She didn't know I'd seen, and I'd keep it that way, for now. The night stretched thin after that shower on August 27th, 2023, the steam fading from the bathroom as I stood in our apartment, the silence pressing against my ears, the faint scent of lavender from Elena's lotion now a bitter reminder. I'd hidden the men's underwear in the trash, the towel still damp in my hands, my mind a whirlwind of hurt and disbelief. For years, her blue eyes, her laughter, the life we'd built in this flat with its creaky floors and street view, shattered by the shadow of that man, the screech of his car fleeing. I sat on the couch, the fabric worn under me, and stared at the wall, the city's distant hum a faint echo to the storm in my chest. I couldn't confront her, not yet, not with screams or tears, but I knew this was over. Elena emerged, her smile forced, her hair still disheveled, and tried to cuddle close, her warmth a lie I couldn't stomach. "Missed you," she murmured, but I shifted away, my voice steady. "Long trip. I'm tired." She nodded, retreating to the bedroom, and I stayed put, the night deepening outside, the window framing a sky streaked with fading light. I thought of her call, her rushed "what's wrong," the rustle as he escaped, and the underwear, proof I couldn't unsee. The betrayal cut deep, a wound I'd carry, but I decided to end it cleanly, without giving her the satisfaction of my anger. I needed a plan, a way to leave her behind, and the idea took root as the clock ticked past midnight. Saturday, August 28th, dawn gray, the air cool through the window, the scent of rain lingering as I moved quietly through the flat. Elena slept, her breathing soft, and I used the time to think. Where to go, how to do this. I grabbed my laptop. The screens glow a lifeline and search rentals, settling on a small place in Glasgow, a city I'd visited once. Its industrial charm a fresh start. I booked it online month to month and contacted my employer about remote work. The response swift, approved. The flat silence was my ally, the creak of the floorboard a rhythm to my plotting, and I packed a bag, clothes, essentials, the photo of us I couldn't yet discard, hiding in the closet. I avoided her gaze that day, her chatter about work and noise I tuned out, her attempt to kiss me met with excuses. I'm still jet-lagged. The photo of the car, its plate clear in my phone, was my leverage, a silent threat I'd use in my exit. I called a locksmith, arranging a lock change for Monday, the voice on the line a step toward freedom. That night, I lay awake, the bed creaking under us, her warmth a barrier, and planned the next move. Wait for her to leave for work. Pack her things, leave a note. The hurt was a constant ache, but it fueled my resolve. I'd do this my way, quiet and final. Sunday, August 29th, I watched her dress for a friend's brunch, her blue eyes oblivious, her goodbye kiss a hollow gesture I endured. See you tonight, she said, and I nodded, the door clicking shut behind her. I waited. The flat's emptiness a relief, the air still with her absence. I pulled out boxes from the storage closet, the tape ripping loudly in the quiet, and began packing her clothes, her books, her trinkets. Each item of memory I boxed away. I wrote the note. I saw everything. I have photos of the car. We won't meet again. My hand steady, the ink dark on the paper, and placed it atop her things. The locksmith's visit loomed, a lock change to seal my departure, and I felt a grim satisfaction. This was my closure, crafted without her knowing. The morning of Monday, August 30th, 2023, broke with a soft gray light filtering through the apartment window, the air cool and tinged with a fading scent of summer rain, a stillness settling over the space. Elena had left for work hours ago, her goodbye kiss a hollow echo, and I stood in the living room, the boxes of her belongings stacked neatly by the door, the note. I saw everything. I have photos of the car. We won't meet again. Resting atop them, its ink stark against the paper. The flat felt foreign now. The creak of the floors under my feet a reminder of the life I was leaving, the lavender scent of her lotion, a ghost I needed to escape. The locksmith was due soon, and with each tick of the clock, my resolve hardened. This was my exit, quiet and final. The locksmith arrived at 9 a.m., his tools clattering softly, the metallic scent of his work mingling with the apartment's stillness as he changed the locks. I watched, my hands in my pockets, the photo of the car still on my phone a silent weapon, the keys to the new locks heavy in my palm. He finished, handed me the spares, and left with a nod, the door clicking shut behind him, a barrier between me and her. I moved the boxes outside, the morning air brushing my skin, the weight of her clothes and trinkets a burden I was shedding. I placed her by the curb, the note visible, and stepped back, the street quiet save for a distant car horn. My heart a mix of relief and ache as I imagined her return. I returned inside, the flat now mine alone, the silent relief but also a void. I packed my own bag, laptop, clothes, the photo of us I couldn't yet discard. Each item a piece of the life I'd carry forward. The kitchen held memories, our shared meals, her laughter, and I paused. The counters edged cold under my fingers, letting the pain wash over me. For years, her blue eyes, her touch, gone, replaced by the shadow of that man, the underwear I'd trashed, the car's screeching escape. I shook it off, grabbed my bag, and took one last look, the window framing the street where it all unraveled, then locked the door, the new key a symbol of my freedom. The train station was a short walk, the platform bustling with morning commuters, the air thick with the scent of coffee from a vendor cart. The train's hum a call to my new life. I boarded, the seat hard against my back, the window showing the city receding, our flat, our past, fading into the distance. I thought of Elena's reaction, her shock, her tears, the note's finality, and felt a grim satisfaction, tinged with loss. Glasgow awaited, a blank slate, and I opened my laptop, coding a new project to fill the silence, the rhythm of keystrokes a lifeline. The betrayal had broken me, but this departure was my reclaiming, a step toward a future where her shadow couldn't reach, the train's motion carrying me forward. The train pulled into Glasgow Central Station on Monday, August 30th, 2023, the platform alive with the clamor of arriving passengers, the air thick with the damp scent of rain and the metallic tang of the tracks. I stepped off, my bag heavy on my shoulder, the station's vast ceiling echoing with announcements, a stark contrast to the quiet resolve that had carried me from our old life. The city greeted me with a fine drizzle, the droplets clinging to my jacket, the gray stone buildings rising like weathered sentinels under a sky heavy with clouds. I hailed a cab, the driver's broad accent and new melody, and watched Glasgow unfold, its industrial edges, the River Clyde glinting in the distance, the streets bustling with a rhythm unlike the one I'd left behind. This was my fresh start, a place where Elena's betrayal couldn't follow, yet the weight of it clung to me, a shadow I couldn't shake. The apartment I'd rented was a modest flat in the West End, its wooden floors creaking underfoot, the air musty with the scent of old paint and damp walls, the single window framing a view of a narrow street lined with red brick houses. I arrived late, the streetlights casting long shadows across the room, and unpacked my sparse belongings. Clothes folded into a rickety dresser, laptop on a scarred desk, the photo of Elena and me tucked into a drawer, its edges curling with time. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional drip from a leaky faucet, and I sat on the edge of bed, the mattress thin and lumpy, my mind drifting to that August night, her blue eyes wide with forced cheer, the man's shadow, the underwear I'd trashed, the note. I saw everything. I have photos of the car. We won't meet again. All replayed, a wound I was still tending. I wondered if she'd found the boxes, if she cried, but pushed the thought away, focusing on the task of making this place mine. Tuesday, August 31st, I ventured out, the drizzle persistent, the cobblestone slick under my boots, the air carrying the faint aroma of wet leaves and distant bakeries. I found a cafe near Byers Road, its interior warm with the scent of freshly brewed coffee and buttery pastries, the chatter of locals a soothing backdrop. I set up my laptop, connecting with my employer about the remote transition, the coding a rhythm to steady my nerves. The betrayal still stung. Elena's lies, the man's escape. But here, amid the city's gritty charm, I felt a flicker of possibility. I bought groceries that afternoon. The market's bustle of contrast in my solitude, the weight of bread and cheese in my bag, a small act of self-reliance, though my hands trembled as I paid. The cashier's glance a reminder of my new anonymity. By Thursday, September 3rd, I'd begun to settle, the flat's chill offset by a borrowed space heater, the window now framing a glimpse of the park beyond the street. I worked remotely, the startup's projects filling my days, and joined a local coding meetup. The faces unfamiliar but kind, their questions about my past met with vague answers. New start, old ties cut. Yet at night, the quiet pressed in, and I'd think of Elena, her laugh, her touch now tainted, and the man, his presence a ghost I couldn't name. I resisted checking my old phone, the one with her potential replies, but the urge gnawed at me. Friday, September 4th, I caved, powering it on in the flat's dim corner, the screen lighting up with silence. No calls, no texts, a void that both relieved and unnerved me. The pain flared, a dull ache, but so did my resolve. I wouldn't let her pull me back. Saturday, September 5th, I explored Kelvin Grove Park, the grass damp underfoot, the air fresh with the scent of earth and fading summer blooms, the river Kelvin a gentle murmur. The walk was long, my breath visible in the cool air. I sat on a bench, the wood wet through my jeans, watching families pass. I thought of our 4 years, late-night talks, weekend getaways, her hand in mine, now overshadowed by that August betrayal. The photo in my drawer, her smile, felt like a relic, and I considered burning it, but kept it, a reminder of the trust I'd lost. The park's tranquility soothed me, and I decided to lean into this new life. Find a routine, build connections, let the pain fade. Sunday, September 6th, I woke to a clearer sky. The flat's window showing a hint of blue. The heaters hum a constant now. I cooked breakfast, the sizzle of eggs a small victory, and sat with my laptop, coding a personal project to channel my energy. The city's sounds, distant traffic, a neighbor's radio, filled the space, and I felt a shift. Elena's absence, the man's shadow, the note's finality, they were behind me. A chapter closed. Glasgow was my canvas, and though the scars remained, I was painting with my own colors. Step by step, the drizzle outside a promise of renewal. The betrayal had broken me, but this beginning was mine to shape. The week in Glasgow unfolded with a steady rhythm by Saturday, September 12th, 2023, the late summer rain tapping against my flat's window, a gentle patter that mingled with the distant hum of the city beyond. The air inside was warm, the heater's faint buzz of comfort, carrying the scent of the coffee I'd brewed that morning, a small ritual to anchor me in this new life. I'd been here 2 weeks, the flat's creaky floors and musty walls becoming familiar, my days filled with coding for the startup, exploring the West End's cafes, and the quiet companionship of my new routine. But that afternoon, as I sat at my scarred desk, a message from an old co-worker, Tom, broke the calm. Elena's been asking around. She knows you're gone. Thought you should know. My hand froze on the mouse, the coffee cooling in its mug. The flat silence pressing in as I reread the text, my heart thudding. Elena, searching for me. After the note, the lock chains, a photo of the car, her persistence stung, a reminder of the life I'd left. I leaned back in the chair, the wood creaking under me, and let the memories flood in. Her blue eyes wide with forced cheer, the man's shadow, the underwear I'd trashed, the quiet exit I crafted. The rain outside intensified, streaking the window, and I wondered what it meant, guilt, regret, or something else. Tom's follow-up came, she's a mess, asking friends, no idea where you are. And I felt a mix of relief and unease, the past reaching into my fragile peace. I spent the day walking, the rain soaking my hood, the Glasgow streets glistening under the streetlights, the air thick with the scent of wet pavement and distant bakeries. I found a bench near the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery. It's stone cold and wet through my jeans, and sat, the drizzle a steady companion to my thoughts. I pictured Elena, her tears, her pleas, the life we'd shared for 4 years, now tainted by that August betrayal. The note I'd left, the car photo, had been my shield, but her search suggested she wasn't letting go. I thought of confronting her, demanding answers. But the idea faltered. Why give her my voice when I'd already taken mine back? The rain dripped from my hood, a rhythm to my resolve, and I decided to stay silent, let her wonder. Back at the flat, the heater's warmth a contrast to chill in my bones. I powered on my old phone, the screen lighting up with a flood of missed calls and texts from Elena, stretching back days. Please call me. One read, her voice in a voicemail breaking. I didn't mean for this. I love you. I listened, my chest tight, the flat's quiet amplifying her words, the pain flaring anew. But I deleted them, my hand steady, knowing her love was a lie after what I'd seen. The betrayal, her with that man, the rushed escape, had driven me here, and I wouldn't let her pull me back. I needed closure, not her excuses, and the silence was my power. Saturday, September 12th, I sat with my laptop, the screen's glow a steady anchor, and wrote to Tom. Thanks for the heads up. Tell her I'm gone for good. No reply. I sent it, the action a final cut, and felt a weight lift, though the ache lingered. I thought of my next step, deepening my roots here, perhaps asking Anna, a coder I'd met, for coffee beyond work, using the meetup to build a network. The rain eased, the sky clearing to reveal a sliver of blue, and I stood by the window, the city's lights twinkling below. Elena's search was an echo of a past I was leaving behind, her love a hollow echo I no longer needed. The betrayal had shaped me, and in Glasgow I was finding my strength, step by step, ready to move forward. The days in Glasgow settled into a tentative calm by Friday, September 18th, 2023. The late summer fog curling around the city's stone facades, a soft blanket that muffled the world outside my flat. The air inside was warm, the heater's gentle hum a steady presence, carrying the faint scent of the chamomile tea I brewed to ease the tension in my shoulders. I'd been here 3 weeks, the flat's creaky floors and musty walls growing familiar, my life taking shape with coding for the startup, the coding meetup's camaraderie, and the occasional coffee with Anna, a new friend from the group. But that morning, as I sat at my scarred desk, a package from Tom arrived, its weight a quiet dread, the paper crinkling as I opened it. Last thing from her. Your call. I paused, the tea cooling in its mug, the fog pressing against the window as I stared at the envelope, my heart thudding with a mix of curiosity and reluctance. Inside was a letter from Elena, her handwriting shaky across the page, and a small key, perhaps to our old apartment, now irrelevant. I'm sorry, she wrote, her words spilling out. How she'd loved me. How the man had been a mistake. How guilt had consumed her since I left. She begged for forgiveness, her pen pressing hard, the ink smudged, and ended with, "This is goodbye if you want it." I sat on the couch, the fabric warm but comforting, and let the memories flood in. Her blue eyes, the man's shadow, the note I'd left, the lock change, all a tapestry of pain I carried here. I walked to the Clyde that afternoon, the fog lifting to reveal the river's gray shimmer, the air cool with the scent of wet stone and distant industry. The path was quiet, my boots splashing through shallow puddles, and I sat on a bench, the metal cold through my jeans, the letter crumpled in my pocket. I thought of our 4 years, late-night talks, her laughter, the trust I'd given, now overshadowed by that August betrayal. The key felt heavy, a symbol of a door I'd closed, and I considered replying, confronting her. But the idea faded. Her regret couldn't undo the hurt. The river's flow mirrored my thoughts, a steady release, and I tore the letter, the pieces scattering in the breeze, a symbolic letting go, though the ache lingered. Back at the flat, the heater's warmed a cocoon. I placed the key on the desk, its metal glinting in the dim light, and decided to keep it, not as a tie to her, but as a marker of my journey. I thought of my next steps, expanding my app, perhaps asking Anna for dinner, deepening ties with the meetup. The fog cleared outside, the sun breaking through, and I stood by the window, the city's lights twinkling below. Elena's letter, her goodbye, was a final echo of a past I was shedding. The betrayal had broken me, but it had also forged me into someone who could code a future, build connections, find peace. I felt a quiet strength growing, step by step, ready to heal in this Glasgow haven. The early autumn settled over Glasgow by Saturday, October 10th, 2023, the air crisp and carrying the earthy scent of fallen leaves, a gentle breeze rustling the trees along the West End streets. I stood on my flat, small balcony, the iron railing cool under my hands, the city below alive with the golden glow of streetlights against the fading dusk, a stark contrast to the pain I'd escaped. It had been 6 weeks since I'd fled here, the betrayal by Elena a wound that had scarred over, leaving me resilient. My life had taken root, my app gaining steady clients, coding workshops thriving at the library, and Anna's friendship blossoming into a quiet, steady presence. That evening, though, a final whisper from my past arrived, sealing the chapter I closed. I'd been working at my desk, the wood warm from a heater's glow, the screen's light a constant as I coded, the flat filled with the soft hum of the city beyond. A knock at the door pulled me away, and I opened it to find a small envelope from Tom, the paper worn, his note inside brief. Last from her, done now. It held a single item, a ring, Elena's, with a tiny inscription of our initials from years ago and a handwritten line. I've moved on. You should too. The metal was cold in my palm, the initials a faint echo, and I sat on the couch, the fabric soft from use, letting the weight of it sink in. Her final release, a closure I hadn't sought but now held. I walked to Kelvin Grove Park that night. The air cool against my skin, the path lit by the soft glow of lanterns, the scent of damp grass and autumn leaves a welcome change. The park was quiet, the river Kelvin a gentle murmur, and I found a bench, the wood damp through my jeans, the ring heavy in my pocket. I thought of that August night, Elena's blue eyes, the man's shadow, the note I'd left, the lock change, and the month since, the pain that had driven me, the life I'd built, her letter, her regret, and now this ring, releasing me. It was the end I needed. I tossed the ring into the river, the splash of quiet goodbye, the water carrying it away, though the ache lingered as a reminder of what I'd overcome. Back at the flat, the heaters warmed the sanctuary. I sat with Anna, her presence a comfort as we shared tea, the steam rising in the dim light. She'd become more than a friend, her gentle humor and shared silence as a balm to my guarded heart. We talked the upcoming app launch, the workshops, her art, and I felt a peace I hadn't known. The betrayal had shattered me, but had also forged me into someone who could code a future, teach others, build a life. I thought of Elena, her blue eyes fading from my mind, and the man, his presence a closed chapter, and realized I was free, the ring's loss of final ties severed. The next morning, October 11th, I woke to a clear sky, the flat's window framing a golden city, the silence broken by the distant chime of church bells. I stood there, the cool glass against my fingers, and looked out, Glasgow, my home, its resilience and hope mine to claim. The past was a shadow, Elena's release a gift I hadn't needed to ask for, and I was moving forward. My app set to launch, a community forming at the workshops, and a smile of promise. The betrayal had been a crucible, and I'd emerged not unbroken, but remade. I stepped outside, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot, and walked into the day, ready to live the life I'd redeemed, step by step, in this new Scottish dawn. The autumn deepened in Glasgow by Friday, October 30th, 2023, the air sharp with a chilly bite, carrying the rich scent of wet leaves and chimney smoke as I walked home from the library workshop. The city streets were alive with the rustle of fallen foliage underfoot, the golden hues of trees lining the west and the stark contrast of the gray stone facades, and my flat's warmth awaited, the heaters hum a steady companion as I stepped inside. It had been 7 weeks since I'd arrived, my life taking firm root, my app gaining traction, the coding workshops bustling with eager learners, and Anna's friendship a quiet joy in my days. But that evening, as I sorted through emails at my scarred desk, a message from a major tech firm, Technova, stopped me cold, an offer to collaborate on a high-profile project, a chance that both thrilled and unnerved me. I sat back, the chair creaking under me, the screen's glow casting shadows on the walls, my heart thudding as I read the details. A 6-month contract, remote but with quarterly in-person reviews. The pay a significant leap. The email praised my app's innovative privacy features, a project born from my need to vanish after Elena's betrayal, and requested response by Monday. The flat silence amplified my thoughts. The scent of chamomile tea I brewed lingering, and I felt a surge of pride. My work, my escape, had caught their eye. Yet doubt crept in, a whisper from the past. Could I handle this pressure after the emotional wreckage of that August night? Her blue eyes, the man's shadow, the note I'd left, they flickered, a test of the strength I'd built. The next day, October 21st, I met Ann at a cafe near Byers Road, the air warm with the aroma of roasted coffee and fresh scones, her smile a brief anchor amid my swirling thoughts. I showed her the email, her eyes widening as she skimmed it, the clatter of cups around us a distant hum. "This is huge," she said, her voice steady. "You've earned it." Her encouragement steadied me, and I decided to consider it, weighing the opportunity against the memories it stirred. I spent the afternoon walking along the Clyde, the river's gray shimmer a mirror to my mind, the air cool with the scent of wet stone, my boots splashing through shallow puddles. I thought of Elena, her letter, the ring, her goodbye, and how that pain had driven my coding, my move, my growth. This offer was a chance to prove myself, beyond her shadow. By Wednesday, October 28th, I drafted a response. The flats warmed the contrast of the chill outside, the window framing a city draped in autumn gold. I researched Technova, their project aligning with my skills, and practiced a pitch in my head, the rhythm of my voice a lifeline, the workshops at home my confidence, the app success a foundation, but the in-person reviews loomed. Would I falter, my past insecurities surfacing? I called Tom that night, his voice a familiar comfort over the crackling line. "You've got this," he said. "You've come too far." His words bolstered me, and I finalized the email, accepting the offer, my finger hovering before hitting send, the flat's quiet a witness to my leap. Friday, October 30th, I woke to a clearer sky. The flat's window showing a hint of blue, the heaters hum a steady beat. I sent the email, the action a thrill and a terror, and felt a shift, pride in my work, fear of the challenge, but also a quiet strength. I walked to the park, the leaves crunching underfoot, the air fresh with the scent of earth, and sat by the river, the water's flow a reminder of letting go. Elena's betrayal had been crucible, but it forged me into someone who could seize this. My app, my workshops, this project. The city stretched out, a canvas of my future, and I resolved to meet it head on, step by step, the past a shadow I'd outgrown.